and thank you for tuning into Baked Goods. I'm your host, Clark. I hope you've already eaten dinner because tonight's competition will likely have you reaching for your cookie jar. On tonight's show, we will have 2 teams, 4 contestants, ready to decide once and for all who makes the best cookie. We'll now take you to meet our teams and judges for the evening. Tonight's show will feature mixed age teams, but we all know who the real stars are. Our first team goes by the name of Taekwondo Boys. Cogent is the plucky little 5-year-old, and Mark is one of his older, supportive brothers. Next up are the Buttercups. On this team, we have zany little Zoe and the lovely Liana, her older cousin. This show is surely shaping up to be a family affair. Let's now introduce you to our judges panel. Candace is an author, a healer, and mother to 2 of our contestants. Let's hope she's not too biased. Next, we have Deborah. She is the cookie critic we've all been waiting for, and also mother to one of our contestants. Finally, we have Anne, who is related to each of our contestants in some way. Who picked these judges?
What is he doing? Look! Look! That's silly. That's silly, right? Whoa! My name is Zoe Hannah, and I'm 5 years old.
Before the competition began, I asked both of our junior contestants to express something that they enjoy doing. And for Zoe, she chose drawing. Following in the tradition of many of her relatives, Zoe is one talented artist. And although she's never baked before, she assured me that her creative skills will translate in this competition.
My name is Cogent and I'm 5 years old.
Cogent decided to dazzle us with his Taekwondo skills. And he loves it so much, he even named his team after it. But this is not all he likes to do. Cogent enjoys setting goals. For his 6th birthday, he hopes to become an Avenger. And by the end of this evening, he hopes to become the winner of this bake-off.
Yeah.
Hello teams, how are we doing this evening?
Good.
I couldn't hear you, how are we doing this evening?
Good.
All right, I felt that one. Welcome to Baked Goods. I'm your host, Clark, and I hope you all are ready for some friendly competition. At this time, we're going to start things off by having one of our judges describe the theme of this week's show.
Hello, contestants. Today's competition is inspired by the season that's almost upon us, spring. As the days become longer and the weather grows warmer, plants are growing and flowers are blossoming everywhere. We want your cookies to embody this blooming season.
All right, teams, you've received your directives. You will be judged based on the fulfillment of the competition criteria. The competition is only 70 minutes, and your time will start now.
So, Zoe has determined that we will make a classic thumbprint cookie for the show. But instead of using a jam, we're going to use spring-inspired flavors and make a pink lemonade thumbprint cookie using fresh lemons and raspberries to set our cookie apart.
Cogent wants to make a flower pot cookie. So we're going to use our cookie dough as a flower pot and use a combination of peanut butter cups and crumbled chocolate cookies for our dirt filling. The garnish will be a mint leaf to represent a new sprout.
Wait, I'm going to mix it because this is mine.
Okay, but we're gonna put everything in there first.
All of that sugar?
This is powder. This is flour. I'm sorry.
Flour.
And then what else you say? Baking soda? How much baking soda do I need?
Go ahead and do.
Right here, we were just trying to make sure we had all the ingredients together. We were trying to make sure everything was in the same bowl. We were trying to make sure that the stuff that didn't need to be in the bowl yet was set to the side so that we can just get straight to the project. We knew that this cookie was going to be kind of difficult to make, and we knew that we had very stiff competition. So we wanted to be as efficient as possible.
We're gonna take this
flour.
flour. It's exactly what it is. Okay.
No.
Let me just get us, let's see how much we're gonna put in there. I think we need to have, let me just see, I think we need 2 of these. So Zoe and I start making these thumbprint cookies. And the first thing I think is, this is a lot of ingredients. I mean, there was flour, there was powdered sugar, there were all these things, and I thought, how are we gonna get this together? So the key, I thought, was that we would be very exacting with our measurements. And Zoe was awesome. She was very, very precise in how she was getting our flour and our sugar all assembled in the bowl.
So, what part of the recipe are you guys on?
Well, currently, we're mixing together all the butter and stuff, so we're trying to make the good cookie dough right now.
Okay. How's it going?
It's going. I think the finished product will be great.
Awesome. So I think you guys have about an hour left.
Okay.
So we're looking forward to seeing what you guys produce.
Let's do it.
And we're just gonna take, yes, and we're gonna, exactly. And we're just gonna take some of this confectioner's sugar out. And we're gonna put this,
Oh, I found it.
we're gonna put some of this in this bowl. I was guiding Zoe throughout the process. I mean, you know, I had an idea of what we were making, and I was thinking, okay, Zoe, we're gonna add this, and we're gonna add this, and we're gonna put this all together. And then I discovered that maybe I had mixed all the ingredients in one bowl, and they were supposed to be combined a little differently than that. So we just quickly adapted to this little error, and Zoe was such a trooper. She just went right along with it. I was like, okay, we're gonna just take some of these ingredients, like the confectioner's sugar and the flour, and we're gonna just take them out. I don't know how we distinguish between the sugar and the flour in the same big bowl, but we did our best. So now we need butter.
Butter.
Do you know where the butter is?
We found out that we didn't have enough softened butter for the both of us. So what I did was gave Liana and her team their amount of softened butter that they need. And then I took some more butter out the refrigerator that needed to be softened up. So I split that in half and gave half of the hard butter to Liana and half of the hard butter to myself. And I had to improvise, and I put it in the microwave for a few seconds just to let it soften up a little bit so I can put it back with the rest of the stuff so we can hurry up and mix it, because at this point time is moving pretty quickly.
Get out here, Phil. Get out here, Phil.
So we're just gonna eyeball it, okay? So we're gonna just zest. And that's the zest of the lemon, that little skin. You smell it?
I want to taste it.
You'll taste it, we'll taste it. Right now it's just a little of the skin. You smell how good that smells? You smell it? So I think Zoe was all into the classic way of baking. I think of my great-grandmother, who was my inspiration during this process, and how she used to taste and cook. You know what I mean? It's like you sample, you figure out where you are, and you make tweaks. Zoe was right on top of that. Zoe was tasting everything as we went. She was making sure the lemon was lemony and zesty and puckery, just puckery enough. She was checking everything out.
This one.
Oh, okay. So we're gonna take a little bit of this.
I guess Zoe wasn't the only one that was tasting cookies.
So what I just did was I put the butter in the microwave for about 10 seconds because it wasn't all the way softened. And I just want to make sure to be very mixable.
Perfect.
the dough was coming together. We had all of our ingredients, well, most of them already mixed in with each other. At this point, it still felt a little hard. I guess that was because the butter was still cold and it was just clumping everything together. So we were trying to get all the rest of the ingredients with it and mix it up so that it'll be more of a smoother consistency.
So we're gonna mix it. We're gonna mix it. Can you see? I'm not sure if it's supposed to look like this.
It's like rice and raw.
It should. We want to be so safe in the kitchen, don't we, Zoe?
Yeah, we don't want to get cut.
We sure don't.
Wow.
Somebody did it. So we noticed as we were mixing the dough that it was very, very dry. It was a little, didn't have the consistency that we were expecting, because keep in mind, we're gonna have to roll the dough and make dough balls. And at this point, it was just like a bunch of powder and a few little clumps of dough mixture that got combined. So we weren't quite sure. We were thinking something was a little off. So we're zesting a little bit more lemon, just taking a look at the consistency of the mixture. We're thinking it needs a little bit more lemon juice. So we're just going to zest a little more lemon. Some of cooking is just going with your feelings, you know, it's kind of like going with your gut. What do you feel? So I'm thinking this is a little dry, and we just want to enhance it with a lot more lemon zest and a little bit more lemon juice. And worst comes to worst, we have some lemony cookies. As you can imagine, we were trying to reach the right consistency. The dough was a little dry, so one idea I had was, why don't we add some more lemon? Some more lemon zest, and then some more lemon juice. And let's see how it shakes out, because it just seemed like it needed a little more moisture. So at this point, I wasn't quite sure what the problem was, but I thought I knew the solution. Good job. A little more? Great job.
Just tap it.
Just tap it on there?
No, on this, on the counter. Don't, just like this. You see how it's cracked? Now you take
He
it.
let me crack an egg for the batter.
Oh, wait, 1 second now.
But I
It's already
understand.
cracked.
Because you don't want seeds in cookies, do you?
Well, there we go. Yeah. Okay.
So we try to.
It don't smack.
Oh, wait, 1 second now.
But I want to
It's already cracked.
Seeds in there. Because you don't want seeds in cookies, do you?
Well, there we go. Yeah. Okay.
So we try to be careful.
Make sure there's no shells in there.
Okay, you want to pour this in there now?
My excellent sous chef decided to crack the egg and mix it in with the rest of the batter. And I guess he decided the whole egg might be best with it.
Good.
Hey, Buttercups.
Hi.
How are we doing on
We
this
are doing
side?
awesome over here. I just want you to know it's all coming together. So we're making dough, and it looks like dough, doesn't it? This is a miracle. So finally, we have something that starts looking like dough. All right, now that we've got all this dough, and we're gonna just roll it into little size.
Oh, I know to do that.
Like almost like Play-Doh. So I'm gonna give it to you when you do it, okay?
3 more minutes.
You can do it.
4 more minutes. 1 more minute.
We feel really good about this, but it's at this point in time where I'm realizing we might be a little behind schedule. Thank you. Okay.
I'm gonna put this in here for about 5 minutes.
That?
Yep, just about 5 minutes.
The bowl?
Yep.
Okay, so press this down. Now you turn it.
So take this bowl.
Yay, Zoe.
Got it. Put it down here.
Put it right in there. We wanted to put the batter in the freezer so it can harden up a little bit so we can roll the dough up into little balls and have the cookies baked in the oven. So right now, the dough is almost ready to come out the freezer. What we're gonna do is we're gonna roll them up in the balls, place them inside here, then we're gonna smash the edges so we can have the filling for the soil effect, and then put the mint leaves on top of it.
Sounds very good. Look forward to seeing it.
Cogent, come here right quick.
Commercial
think
start?
No.
I think our
Put your hand over the seat.
cookies are going to be kind
You're
of
gonna put
big.
some flour in your
Okay, here
hands.
you go.
Now rub them together. Yeah, like that.
It's like it's raining.
We took the flour out of the freezer. It was still a little too creamy, and it was also very sticky. So what we wanted to do is put the flour on our hands so it could keep the batter from sticking to our hands.
Perfect. Okay, you got another one. Here you go.
It worked a little bit, but the batter was very, very sticky. So you had to end up putting it back in the freezer for a while. And then after it came out the freezer the second time, we rolled it up into the balls and started creating the flour pot for our cookies. We're gonna make the dough bowls in all of these, okay?
Okay.
Grab your dough.
Okay.
Okay, where's the freezer? Is this it?
Yeah.
We did it. We got the dough to look like dough.
Yeah. Let me see mine. No.
Oh, can you get one more? You know this paper right here? Can you get one more sheet of paper from over
And we
there?
rolled it into balls, we put it out, spread it out on a cookie sheet, we put it in the freezer to chill, and we were on a roll.
top of this.
We knew
Yes.
that our dough
Excellent.
was gonna be just
We'll just
right.
put it right here.
Mine's the hands are sticky. Yours are
As we were
stuck.
creating the dough balls, it was very hard because the dough is extremely sticky, and it was hard for it to roll in the balls, so it'd be easier for me to just put a little hole in the middle and then separate it like that on the sides. So what we tried to do is improvise. We just wanted to get as much dough as we could in our hands, put it inside the cupcake tray, and then we wanted to outline the ring of the tray with our fingers so that the dough made a bowl for the cookies.
We're passing, like buttercups, yeah.
I think you might be. You guys are fast. But whose is gonna taste better? That's the question.
Ours is going to taste better, Pete.
Hopefully.
28 minutes.
28.
Is that how much time we have left? Somebody's gonna have more cookies. We're gonna get this part ready. This center part, the pink part in the middle, it's called the raspberry glaze.
One day, right, Clark?
Once our cookie dough was safely in the freezer, chilling for the appropriate amount of time, I kind of consulted my little notes about how this was all going to unfold and realized that we left something out. We left out the thing that would have made the dough moist.
Oh my gosh, there is milk in the recipe.
Yeah.
The milk! No wonder we couldn't get the dough to form. It's okay. We're still in this.
Yeah, it's melting. If we can put on the light, we can see what it gives me, Coach.
12 minutes.
12 minutes?
Okay.
So and that says 5:34.
And
34?
Yep.
8:34?
5:34. We're making the soil
okay,
right
Zoe,
now.
I need your
So
help with
what
the
we're gonna do is we're gonna crush these up, and then we're gonna wait till the cookies get out the oven. We're gonna chop these up, put the peanut butter cups on the side, and then once these are crushed up, we're gonna spread the soil over the top. Then we're gonna top it off with the mint leaf.
so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the raspberries and we're gonna make a glaze for the top. At this point, we realize that it's a little too late to make any corrections to the dough. But that's okay. We've got lemony dough and we're ready to move on to the raspberry glaze. The raspberries are beautiful. They're red and we're thinking, you know, we're gonna make this just a beautiful dessert. You guys have cookies in the oven already? Oh my gosh, Zoe, did you hear that? They have cookies in the oven. Our cookie dough is in the freezer. We gotta rush. Yes, we gotta hurry. Can you take the cookie dough carefully out of the freezer?
We're in front of me.
Very careful.
Alright, Coach, now it's time to make the soil.
Soil? Is that Rita? Let me take my hat off. And then put this round a little bit.
Perfect. Excellent. Woo! They look good.
70 minutes left.
Zoe gave us a time check and she told us we had about 17 minutes left in the competition.
So Zoe, we're gonna put these cookies in the oven and bake them. We're gonna figure out, you're almost ready to bake. We only need to bake them for like more than 17 minutes. And so when we consulted our notes to see what we needed to do next, we discovered that we needed to bake the dough and it was gonna take more than 17 minutes. So what we're gonna do is, do we need to put them?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I think we can bake them on this parchment paper. So let's put them in the oven.
On 3 steps.
So I'm just gonna put these in the oven. No. I will do this so that nobody gets hurt. There we go, because it's hot in there. Oh look, they're going in. All right, good team.
Okay, so we're gonna check on the cookies. Gonna see how they look.
So I'm gonna put.
Okay. So as I went to check on the cookies, they didn't have the bowl effect that I thought they would have. They started to rise up like a muffin. So at this point, we decided we wanted to improvise.
It fell on the ground. Maybe. I can take it back apart.
Oh Lord.
I did it. I'm making it. I was going to ask for help.
Once we took them out, we realized that we took them out a little too soon. It was still very doughy on the inside. Back in.
Whoa! Oh!
Actually, I got something.
What? Nothing.
So what we did was we put the Reese's in the middle, as well as open up a little of the cookie on the side, so that the whole thing could get done all the way through while the Reese's was melting. Because we knew that we were running out of time and we needed to hurry up and get these cookies done.
Ooh, you got Reese's peanuts. Does that look good?
It's a Sprung flower pot chocolate
Time
chip
check,
cookie.
10 minutes.
What?
I began to feel a little bit of stress at this point.
All right, they are not ready, but we are going to press them down and spread them out. So don't touch this pan, okay?
We had very little time left and the pressure was just kind of mounting at this point. We knew that the dough may not get done in time.
Hello, I am Hannah Joshua. I am an actress, I am a singer, but most importantly, I am an activist. Every year, we produce over 300 million tons of plastic, and 50% of that plastic that we produce is for single-use purposes. It's utilized for such a short amount of time on this planet, but yet it stays for several hundred years on this surface. single-use plastics such as bottles and straws often aren't recycled and never make it to a landfill. Nearly 35% of it flows into our oceans. Join me and reduce your personal plastic consumption by joining me on the challenge for the zero waste.
Cut. That was great, Hannah. Here's your smoothie.
Thank you. Oh, actually, you think you can grab me a straw? I don't know, mouthing on this.
Sure.
Thank you. You an angel. We good here?
Yep, that's a wrap.
We had very little time left, and the pressure was just kind of mounting at this point. We knew that the dough may not get done in time.
Okay.
Okay? I'm just gonna put it right here on this warmer, on this.
Just look.
I know. So what?
It smells like pizza. Pizza?
Oh, okay.
That's scary.
I don't know if we're going for pizza though. Let me just tell you something about the buttercups. We are not deterred by a little challenge, by a little time pressure. We're just gonna we are competitors. So we're in this to win this. So you know what we did? We took the dough out of the oven, and then we just proceeded to go ahead and press on the cookies and just open them up so that they started to really form like we wanted them to form. And then we're gonna put them back in there and keep baking, because you know what? We don't give up.
That's okay. That's all right.
Popped up.
We'll leave that right there. That's what, yeah, leave that right there and just keep going.
In the oven. But we're being
Okay, stand
I
back.
can sing like Elsa.
All right. Now we're gonna let them finish baking.
Can they have some milk? Got some milk. 7 minutes. 7 minutes.
7 minutes.
6.5.
6.5.
Well, what we're gonna do, Zoe,
Yeah, another spoon.
you good?
Ow. Oh, coming right up.
Oh boy.
Not raw cookies. Oh. Okay, we're gonna have to turn up the oven. Zoe, we're gonna turn up the oven. Okay, we're good on this. And then how many minutes do we have?
It's yellow now.
So there are lots of ways to get to the finish line.
Okay. Them are
Okay.
not yellow. One of them are
Just gonna add a little more heat here. Just gonna add a little more heat. Let the cookies just speed up their process. And we just decided to crank up the heat on the cookies. You know, let them cook a little faster. Why wait and have those things bake slowly at 350 when we can turn it up to almost 400 and get those things really going? That's what we decided to do.
One of those ones that are yellow we cannot cover up. Right?
Very interesting.
Very interesting. Once we took them out the oven, we saw that the cookies started to take shape and take form of an actual flower pot. So once we got them out the oven, we took the chocolate from the other cookie, the Oreos, and we started spreading the soil around because we knew that we had less than 5 minutes left to go in the match and we had to hurry up and get it done. So once we got the soil on there, all we needed was the mint garnish.
So bakers, we have about 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. So at this time, if you're not plating, you might want to think about doing that.
Indeed, indeed.
We're almost done. We're almost done.
So at this point, we have decided to take the cookies out of the oven. We only have a couple minutes left. And we decided to just pick our 3 best cookies on the cookie sheet and just put those out and plate them for the judges. So in her expert manner, in the way only Zoe could do, she dishes up some raspberries and they are looking so good and so flavorful. And she puts them in the center because it's all about the presentation at this point, and she's nailed it.
Okay, perfect. And one more.
Oh, we need one more. We got it. We can do it.
Let's put the mint on it. You know, let's put the plant inside of the flower pot.
So we're just gonna plate like
Where's the plant?
Right
and
here.
then we're gonna put the rest in there to finish baking so that, uh-oh. 3. Okay, everybody, just these 3 cookies. Don't touch them, Zoe. These are the 3
Wow.
We can't let them beat us, okay?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands up.
All right.
All right.
bakers.
Yay!
That was intense.
I mean, it challenged us in so many different ways, but I think we were really beginning to just, you know what? Those cookies are gonna be lemony and those cookies are gonna be good. We finished. As we presented our cookies to the judges, I have to admit I was really nervous. Our presentation I thought was pretty good. We had these bright raspberries on top of this sugar cookie. The thing that had me most nervous was that the cookies weren't done. They were not baked. We knew that, but the saving grace was there was no egg in there, so there was no danger to the judges. I felt like, you know, they might still enjoy this cookie. It just might be a little softer than we intended.
At the end, when I was garnishing the cookie with the mint leaf, my aim was to try to have the leaf sticking up as if the stem was coming through the soil. Clearly that didn't work. The leaves were on their sides of the cookie. The cookie didn't turn out as bad as I thought, but it definitely could have had a better appearance. If I were to give myself a grade on the appearance, I would probably give a 4. There was a lot of stuff that went wrong, and there was a lot of improvisation that we had to do. But yeah, it definitely could have went a little bit better.
Okay. So what did you guys think about the first cookie? The
I love the
raspberry.
citrusy flavor, and I think that
I'm a
it really
fan
was
of lemon.
just like the instructions said.
The
to make
essence
it
of spring.
Mhm.
Right. I agree.
Now, the wonderful thing about it is that we are critics, and we're not going to over-criticize, but we want to encourage them to make sure it's thoroughly done.
You're exactly right.
Exactly.
So I know there were some challenges. She said there were some challenges early on, and I know time was a factor for them. So I know that the cookie, and she even admitted that the cookie was not done. We don't know what those early challenges were, and maybe when she comes back, we can ask her. But yeah, okay.
Now the second, the flower pot.
The flower, oh yeah.
The
That
flower
was-
pot was succulent.
It was yummy. It was.
And the flavor and the aroma blended in, making it color.
Oh yeah, I think you said it all. I think you said it all. I was like I said before, as a child, I would come home. We didn't have much to eat, but there was always peanut butter on the spoon. So I'm a peanut butter fan anyway. And so yeah, that was the best part for me, the peanut butter in the middle. Oh, and the crispiness on the edges, just like you said
Crispiness on the
before.
edge. I think they did a much better job of making sure that it was done, but it also could have used just maybe a minute and a half,
couple more
2
minutes.
more
I
minutes.
agree. Yeah.
And because the center was a little soft,
Yes.
but it overall,
I
So
think we've
we
made
made a
our
decision?
decision. Yes.
okay.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth Childers. I've been a professional baker for about 18 months now. This show is all about making desserts from ingredients you only find outside.
Oh, this looks good. Look, it's a wild berry bush. Just take one of these. You know, we can melt these down and make a delicious sweet puree. Let's go see what else we can find around here.
About a month ago, I was watching that cooking show on Netflix. You know, the one with the Iranian-American chef. I can never pronounce her name, so I won't try. She was interviewing this guy who was making soup from only ingredients that he found outside.
Okay, so we're a bit further now into the woods, and well, we're not really finding any more bushels, but you know, that's fine. Let's keep going.
Like, he was literally scavenging for ingredients.
Wait, which direction did we come in from? Excuse me, do y'all know where we are?
As a professional baker, I knew that this was a totally inventive idea that literally no one has ever had. So I called my Uncle Tim, and he just gave me a show.
All right, so now we have our contestants here. Judges, I believe you all have made a decision. So can you just talk a little bit about why you made the decision and then give the final determination to the contestants?
Certainly.
So this is now the moment of the judging, and we are like kind of excited to see what the judges think.
So the entire time I'm baking, you know, I'm a competitor. I don't believe in losing at all. I did not think I was going to lose this competition whatsoever. The only thing that I felt like would have docked my chances at winning was the appearance of the cookie. I'm very high on myself. I'm very high on my sous chef. And I just knew that we had what it takes to win this competition.
I will begin. I have to tell the Buttercups that you guys did a wonderful job, and it was a great effort, and I really, really appreciate that. My personal favorite was the flower pot cookie.
Wow, well done. Good job. One vote.
Well, I do have to agree. I do have to agree. I do believe that the overall execution for Team Taekwondo Boys, I think the overall presentation, the taste and the presentation, I'd have to go with the Taekwondo Boys. I agree.
I agree with my people to my right.
Hello, judges.
And I think you both are winners. And
Absolutely.
I really do appreciate the fact that the flower pot had a bloom in the center. I don't know, it kind of worked with me because I'm ready for spring. But the taste of spring was there.
All right.
Well, congratulations. We learned that the Taekwondo boys won it. They did a great job. They were great opponents. And I have to say, their cookies were pretty delicious.
We won!
Once the judges announced that they liked my cookie, I knew that we had it in the bag. I was very relieved because it took a lot of hard work, took a lot of direction and understanding on how to work with a 5-year-old. It was very fun. It was very heartwarming, and you know, shout out to my competition. Shout out to the judges. Shout out to Cogent. We did it, and I'm glad we won. It was a very fulfilling experience.
I think the Buttercups did a great job.
All right. Quiet on set.
Okay, taste one. How does it taste?
I'm gonna taste Spider-Man.
Okay. It's a little sour?
Like Mom Mouse. Oh, it's good. You like the newer Spider-Man.
Hold up. Oh, what's the next line? Please hit me with it this time.
I gotta redo that.
Okay. Ready? You can go now.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth Childers. I've been baking. Wait, is it I've been baking? Mm-hmm. Okay.
it. I should know that already. It's really not that hard.
Okay. And we're gonna say good kind of quiet the first time. Like good. We're gonna go for it the second time.
All right. Ready, set, go. Hello, teams. How are we doing this evening?
Good!
I couldn't.
Hello! Sorry, that was the wrong intonation. We can do it. You're good. Okay. Hello!
Parchment paper down, so.
Okay, so how are you guys doing?
So right now, we have the dough in the freezer, letting it harden a little bit. We're gonna.
But I think we accomplished what we set out to accomplish. So we hope you enjoyed, judges.
Okay. So now, judges, you may eat your cookies.
Oh my gosh.
You ready for us? Oh wow, the presentation is very original. It's very nice. And let's see what it tastes like.
Notice the color.
Yes.
And,
Okay. Okay.
very citrusy. Like you said, very citrusy.
It is.
Very colorful.
Mm-hmm.
Very colorful.
That's so sad.